Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, I see them yopo.
Mema wakwaba ede ba PENDREAM TV so make sure say obe subscribe to channel no click bell so say the news to our sabe to me aka ntem no watie afa so make sure say obe like na wa comment no share ama afoforo so nsaka na comment section ho so no opese wo kire wa adwen obetimi ede wa adwen kire ato honom na amanfo so anya bia kenkan na onim say PENDREAM TV there eye nsem a ekoso Ghana yam politics mu ne ede ba na yasaka ya na ede abranti na so me video I saka pese no che na ye dey ba nti me mo modern astro so obehwe video we amana si awie na wa kire wa adwen e comment section na say yenko video.
I think that we must first commend this young lady who was able to confront.
He who feels it knows it.
Yeah. Of course, yes. But you see the courage to even stand before the vice president.
But she asked the question in a very respectful manner.
Exactly.
Very respectful
yes,
manner.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you know that she later.
You have not praised the vice president for opening himself up.
Oh, please. Let's be serious.
Well done, Mr. Vice President.
Let us be serious. You see,
that should be fine, right?
Doc, I've read about the lady's complaint that after that event, some people had called to threaten her. And so I think that those things are not helpful because she spoke the truth, and it is the vice president who opened himself up by claiming what he has not done.
If he knew these facts, he wouldn't have said what he said.
Doc, I don't think that the vice president didn't know.
He didn't know?
No. That on that point I disagree with you. Because you see, these nurses and midwives student association has been complaining about payment of allowances for God knows what time. Look, you can scan through the media.
Oh yeah.
And you will find consistent complaints from nurses that the allowances are not being paid. And so the vice president cannot claim not to know. He thought that he could get away with it, as he has always done. And for me, this is one of the reasons why the president has refused to open himself up for the media. You would notice that this government has consistently run away from engagement where they will be put on the spot, ask very critical questions that borders on the economy, that borders on their performance. And so the vice president thought that this was one of the platforms. Of course, they had created the platform, so he could get away with that. Firstly, he lied when he said that his predecessor cancelled nursing training allowance. That is not true.
Why?
And that's a barefaced lie.
How?
Nursing training allowance was never cancelled. Never.
But you communicated the intention to cancel or replace.
There was a proposal of replacing nursing training allowance with the student loan. So
but it didn't happen.
It never happened. It never happened. You see, this is one of the many lies Dr. Bawumia peddles and goes away with it. It was teacher training allowance, which was actually cancelled and replaced with student loan.
Okay.
Now, government's intention was to do same with the nursing training allowance.
But that wasn't done.
Yes, because government's attention was drawn to the fact that nursing trainees they are not under the Ghana Education Service. They are rather under the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
And so they could not be put on the student loan trust fund.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
And so the decision to cancel nursing training allowance was stopped. And the allowances were paid to them. In fact, under NDC, nursing training allowance was far better than what they receive under MPP.
Why is it far better? What do you mean?
Okay, so they were paid every month of the year. 300 cities, yes. Whether they were on vacation or they
you mean for the 12 months?
For the 12 months.
Okay.
MPP came and decided that they will rather pay only when they are in school.
So you are saying that this 10-month or so thing is new?
It's new. It is new. And they did the same thing with the teacher training institutions. So nursing trainees were receiving their allowances.
As what I was saying was that hitherto they were paid for the 12 calendar months.
Exactly.
Whether they are in school or not.
Whether they are in school or not. And it was not just for nursing trainees. It was also for agri students.
Okay.
Agri students.
Okay.
Those who attended agri colleges were also receiving the allowances.
Okay.
And then teacher trainees. Then the decision was taken to move all of them to the student loan trust fund. But when government's attention was drawn to the fact that nurses could not be migrated onto it until the law has been amended, all the arrears were paid to them. And so this lie by Dr. Bawumia consistently saying that John Mahama cancelled nursing training allowances. It's something that I was very excited when this young lady was able to confront him and expose him on the spot. And you could see that when he was answering the question, he was fumbling, talking about how he was himself personally going to do a follow-up or give an order and all that. You have failed to live up to your promise to nursing trainees. You said that you were going to pay them allowances. The data as published by the Nursing and Midwife Student Association has exposed you that even students that entered into the colleges when you assumed office, as far back as 2017, you still owe them student allowance. And you still have the courage to go around the country to say that you are the one who has restored nursing training allowances. You are the one that is going to pay nursing training allowances. You have failed on that promise. And look, what is even annoying about all of this is that no nursing student who entered the classroom, who was admitted under NPP administration, has been employed as a nurse. Can you imagine that? Since 2017, the first batch of students who entered the classroom under NPP, none of them has been employed as a nurse. Those who entered in 2017 and completed in 2020 are still home. They have not been employed. In fact, those who are on rotation, the rotation, yes, as we all know, which you turned into national service, they are still owed national service allowances. Some of them have to even complete the rotation several months before they receive their allowances. So you have failed nursing students, you have failed the nursing profession, and you still continue to peddle lies. You still go about talking about what is not as you came to meet. And so I was very, very excited when this young lady exposed the vice president that, look, I have been in school and I'm going to complete.
Her intention was not to expose the vice president. Her intention was really to...
Of course, but it exposed him.
No, her intention was really to get him to intervene for her to receive her money.
And it has exposed him. And it has even brought this issue to frontline discussion. Because I've been reading news of 2021, 2022, 2023. You can find student nurses angry, demand payment of 2 years allowances. This was in last year, October. And the vice president cannot claim that he did not know that his government has failed in terms of payment of nursing training allowances. And the fact that nursing training allowances was never cancelled, was never cancelled. But he continued to peddle that falsehood. And for me, that should have been the end of the vice president on these issues. Look, the next thing I want to talk about is about the attitude of the vice president to create his own issues, try to obfuscate facts, try to lie about them, and conclude with something that he has never done. And that has been very consistent. And I urge the youth of Ghana, those who get the opportunity to attend the Youth Connect, be bold. Whatever you hear the Vice President say that you have knowledge of, that you think is untrue, mount the microphone and expose him. Expose him to the point that he will stop peddling falsehood and going away with it.
Disrespectful.
Not disrespectful. Doc, that's not disrespectful. If he goes to a Youth Connect in the Upper East region to talk about completing the Poalugu Dam, I am calling on the young people in Poalugu, in Talensi, in the Upper East region to mount the microphone and say that, Mr. Vice President, let's go to the site. There's nothing there. This is not disrespectful. This is part of accountability.
Fact checking.
Yes, people must fact check the Vice President. And I hope that with this expose, they will not begin to filter the people who come to ask the questions. If you heard the moderator, he said, if
maybe you guys can help me. Is it true that the fees for the nurses is 3,000 cedis?
Oh, I think some are even more.
I think it's depending on the
Some are even more.
Depending on the school. Or they don't pay one.
I mean, it's all within the same range.
They're all public.
Yes,
Yeah,
all the
it's a
same
range.
range.
I think it's a range.
All the same range because they have items that they paid for. Maybe you see a little
And
variation.
their semester is how many months? Like 3 months.
Their semester is 3 months.
3 months.
Yes, and they pay like the universities.
And for that 3 months, they're entitled to 1,200.
Yes.
Okay.
And how is that going to even help to pay for more than 3,000 school fees? So the nurses, they are worse off. They've been worse off under NPP in terms of this allowance issue. And many other issues.
The fee has gone up. It was less than.
It was less than that. I think under NDC, nursing training fees, I stand to be corrected.
Because the allowance under NDC was 300 cedis.
Yes, it was 300 cedis.
So that's what as we speak now, there's been an increment of 100 cedis.
It's 400
over the 8-year period.
Exactly.
But what about the fee?
If you strike the.
No, but what about the fee? I want to compare the fee as well.
I'm coming. But if you look at the number of months that they are paid,
yeah, it's lesser.
It's lesser
now.
Yes.
Okay.
So you find that even looking
so
at
you
the
are
economic
giving, you are giving 300 by 12 months.
Yes.
Now I'm giving
so
400.
we are giving 3,600.
Okay.
For the whole year.
Okay.
And then I'm giving 400.
400 over
4,000
over 10 months.
And that's better than
400 cedis.
Yes, it's better than
for 8 years.
Yeah.
You want to compare the economic situation.
I want to compare the
fees.
fee too. Yes.
You want to compare the fees.
But you look at the fee too.
I think that yes, I can remember they were paying less than.
My producers are also checking on
1,500 or so. Yes, it's gone up. It's gone way up. Yeah. Yes, so they should check that for us. And so the nursing students are worse off. When are you going to employ these nurses that you admitted that went through the colleges during your time? Those who entered from 2017, completed in 2020, are still home. They have no employment. When are you going to complete the hospitals that were started by the NDC so that you can have more spaces to employ these young nurses who are sitting in the house, who have been picketing? Some of them, when they picket at the ministry, they are arrested, taken through several inhumane, conduct by the police. These are the issues that the Vice President must sit down and address and stop going about lying about everything, peddling on truth about the former president, claiming that nursing training allowance was cancelled when in fact nursing training allowance was never cancelled.